Hey guys, what's up? This is Diego here at Cinemageddon Reviews. At long last, I'm here to talk to you guys about Spider-Man No Way Home. This was my most anticipated movie of 2021, as well as for a lot of people. I'm really excited to finally get to talk to you guys about it. Now, just to let you guys know, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. All the stuff I'm going to talk about in this video involves what you've seen in the trailers, as well as brief, spoiler-free details about the film itself. Alright, so now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let's talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. This is the latest solo Spider-Man film which picks up after the events of Far From Home, where Spider-Man's identity was revealed to the world. This time, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange find themselves on a multiverse adventure as they encounter different Spider-Man villains from different universes, not the least of which are Doc Ock, Electro, Sandman, the Lizard, and the Green Goblin. I've said this a million times before already, but I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero. I haven't missed a single live-action Spider-Man film in theaters, but I haven't always loved all of them. The problem is that usually around the second or third film, they usually get too many villains, or the plot gets a little too ambitious and just gets too big for its britches, and ultimately the film doesn't turn out as good as we would like. And that was my biggest concern going into this movie. I was worried that I had set my expectations too high, and that all the rumors circulating around it were going to be very misleading, and it was going to be a very disappointing film in terms of what our expectations were going to be. But I'm very happy to say that Spider-Man No Way Home was a very satisfying film. As a Marvel film, it delivers on spectacle and fan service, but as a Spider-Man film, it stays true to the essence of Peter Parker's character and focuses more on his arc and his inner struggle most of all. First of all, Tom Holland is better than ever in this film. I still think my favorite performance of his is The Devil All the Time, but as Spider-Man, this is definitely his best work. He still continues to be that lovable web-swinger that we all know him as, but this film is surprisingly darker than I expected, especially for a Marvel movie, and Tom Holland certainly carried every scene he was in. And this isn't a spoiler, of course, because you have seen it in the trailers, but Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe are also fantastic in this movie as both Doc Ock and the Green Goblin. You'll be happy to hear that they're in the movie for a considerable amount of time, and they actually bring with them a lot of surprising twists. I will say that Willem Dafoe is better than he's ever been as the Green Goblin. He was, of course, very good and extremely scary in the Raimi trilogy, but there were scenes in this movie where I, as an adult, was legitimately terrified of him, more than I ever was as a kid. That goes into one of my favorite parts of the film, which is how they managed to bring all these different personalities together, and despite there being so many, each of them gets plenty of time to shine on their own. This movie balances each character through some really good humor and action, and it manages to never feel crowded. It even lends time for Zendaya and Jacob Batalon to shine as well. As MJ and Ned leads, I think they also turned in their best work here, and they added a lot more to this movie than they did in the previous ones. Yet at the same time, the movie manages to keep Peter Parker center stage and still feels like the main character. And dare I say, there are even aspects of the Spider-Man character that I felt were enhanced in this movie. There's some parts straight from the comics that are introduced in this movie, and it added a lot of really surprising depth to the film and to the character, and the story has a lot of emotionally heavy moments. And I've already said that this movie is a lot darker than the previous two Spider-Man films, but I'm warning you, you might not be emotionally prepared for this. I am in so much pain right now.
Help me! I'm feeling...
No Way Home also delivers on a ton of spectacle. One of my favorite scenes is a fight scene in the mirror dimension between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. It had a lot of exciting action and cool visuals, and it was very unpredictable, especially for a Spider-Man film. And yes, there are a lot of things that I'm not talking about, a lot of really good action scenes and surprising twists that I'm not going to spoil, but I think my favorite part of this movie is that Spider-Man has a surprisingly satisfying arc. I feel like as a character, he truly came into his own in this film, and it's something that manages to make me smile, even now. It's just a really good feeling. This, at its core, is still a Spider-Man movie, and it manages to feel more like a solo Spider-Man movie than the previous two films. Overall, Spider-Man No Way Home didn't just meet all of my expectations, it exceeded all of them, and it surprised me with things that I didn't even know I wanted to see. As an MCU film, it's without a doubt the best solo movie, and it sets up a lot going forward, especially with those two end credit scenes, which you will want to stick around for. But as a Spider-Man film, dare I say, we've never seen better. I'm not exaggerating. This movie might be better than Spider-Man 2. So if you love Spider-Man as much as I do not miss this movie. Do yourself that favor. And with that said, my rating for Spider-Man No Way Home is 10 out of 10. Please watch No Way Home in theaters, I'm begging you. Do not spoil it for yourself. Trust me, this movie's worth the wait. Up next, stay tuned because my Spider-Man series of reviews is going to continue next time with Spider-Man 2. I've got something big planned for that video, so stay tuned for that. As always, be sure to like this video and subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and please support our Patreon, we really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Diego for Cinemageddon Reviews, and I'll see you on the Wasteland.